Man, Freddy, I hope you're ready, because I've raided every Walmart, Target, Fred Meyer, Costco. Freddy? 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 We've got work to do, man. Stop! Stop! You've already won, Dart Zone! I finally found myself one of these things after fruitlessly trying to order one online for weeks. I don't know what's going on, but trying to get my hands on one of these things is like trying to sit through the Paramount Plus Halo series. Nearly impossible, but clearly not impossible enough. Meet the Adventure Force Maxim Pro by Dart Zone. If you don't already have a pro-level performance semi-auto electronic flywheel blaster, this is your next purchase. Probably. Maybe. Kind of? Coming in at $40 and available at your local Walmart, the Maxim Pro is a budget, high-performance Nerf-style blaster advertising 150-foot ranges without any of that pump-to-prime nonsense. It's magazine-fed and it's powered by 8 AA batteries. Or a spoiler alert. The front of the box does advertise it as a rapid-fire Pro Dart magazine blaster, but make no mistake, this is a Pro Strife. It's just one dart per trigger squeeze and it's capable of some pretty good rate of fire. Not to be confused with the NERF Pro Strife X, that was $120 on release, did feature a rechargeable LiPo battery pack, but otherwise was a pretty similar blaster with similar velocity and range claims on the package. And here we are about a year later, and the Strife X still claims a 3-figure price tag. Not sure how well that one's gonna work out for you, Nerf. Included in the box is the blaster itself and an interesting choice of transparent orange with some painted deco, dark gray furniture, and minor orange accents. You also get a curved 12-round short dart magazine in transparent purple, similar to the green one that came with the Striker 2.0. 12 short darts, a NERF N-Strike to buffer tube attachment, an adjustable lockable buffer tube stock, 2 pieces for a simple Picatinny sight system, and a pair of protective eyewear. Eyes are super important, and these things can take them out if you're not careful. On the left side of the blaster, you have a Phillips head screw that you can unthread to reveal a massive battery tray that holds 8 AA batteries in a pretty awkward configuration. But hark, doth thou gaze upon what I spy? Another Phillips head screw located in the battery tray? You don't suppose that if that's removed, we'll get a similar situation like with the Dart Zone Pro Mark III and reveal that entire AA battery tray is connected to an XT60 battery connector? Oh wait, that's exactly what's going on, baby! You can simply disconnect the AA battery tray and plug in any XT32 or 3S LiPo to power your Maxim Pro, which we'll obviously have to test. I almost feel like I have to censor things at this point, but thankfully Dart Zone already made the Maxim Pro see-through. Man, by now, we should probably start keeping a list of the points the Maxim scores against the NERF something, let's say the NERF Pro Sender. That's also an 8 AA battery magazine-fed flywheel blaster on the shelf right next to the Adventure Force Maxim Pro. Everybody, we have a game going now. Helix Sleep creates premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your needs, shipped right to your door. Their lineup includes over 20 unique mattresses such as their award-winning Luxe and Ultra Premium Elite collections, Helix Plus for big and tall sleepers, and Helix Kids mattresses designed for growing bodies and endorsed by child sleep and medical experts. Helix knows that everybody is different, so they created a sleep quiz that matches you with your perfect mattress. I like to sleep on my side and I'm a big boy, so Helix set me up with the Helix Plus, which is a firmer mattress than what I generally go for, but man am I glad they recommended it. It's only been a couple of weeks with the Helix and it beat out my previous 3 times more expensive mattress without even trying. Helix even offers a 100-night sleep trial, so you have more than 3 months to figure out how much you'll love it. The best part was that Helix showed up right at my doorstep, rolled up in a box that's super easy to carry inside and set up in minutes. Helix is a brand new offer from Labor Day. From now until the end of August, use the exclusive promo code HelixPartner27 at checkout and get 27% off site-wide, plus 2 free pillows with a mattress purchase. This code is exclusively for Helix partners, and you must use HelixPartner27 at checkout to get this deal. If you're in the market for a better night's sleep, check out Helix right now for your perfect mattress and start your 100-night sleep trial today and save big with promo code HelixPartner27. Thanks again to Helix for sponsoring this video. Price-wise, the Maxim beats out the Sender by being $10 cheaper. You also get more included with your purchase, especially with the adjustable stock. And the Maxim lets you swap out to a LiPo battery without any substantial modifications, so we're like 3-0 so far in favor of the Maxim. We got the N-Strike stock attachment point right here on the back, which means it's compatible with most, if not all, of your standard NERF stocks. But then you have this buffer tube attachment that allows you to use most, if not all, of your buffer tube stocks, including the one that comes with the blaster. This is a pretty decent little stock too. I like how it has this lever to unlock it and kind of put it in position. Although it does slide out pretty easily, it does lock into place, and that's probably where you're going to use it most of the time anyway. If you look at the length of pull, it's practically perfect. Whole stock system has a little bit of wiggle and flex to it, but it's a flywheeler. There's no recoil or any kind of priming weight or anything, so it's more than adequate for the blaster it's connected to. Right above the stock, you've got a loop that you can use for a sling attachment point, followed by the whole top of the blaster being one long Picatinny rail that's compatible with Airsoft accessories and other non-NERF Pro attachments. That's right, pretty much every company but NERF has been using Picatinny rail now. Front of the blaster, we've got a simple muzzle that doesn't protrude much from the body, and I tried to shove in pretty much every single type of attachment that Dart Zone makes as a SCAR, whether it's the plastic one or the bearing one, and none of those fit, so I can safely assume that this is just a muzzle and doesn't have any kind of fancy tricks, but feel free to correct me in the comments section. Otherwise, it's just simply an outlet for your high-speed foam darts. Right under the muzzle, you've got a short Picatinny rail that might be a bit small for many of the grips you might try to put on it, but it should fit more than a couple. Your mileage is definitely going to vary on that one, but I don't want to like rail size shame anyone here. And behind that, we've got our standard magazine well, which is compatible with most Talon style geometry magazines. But unlike most of the other recent Dart Zone blasters, the Adventure Force Maxim Pro has just one long magazine release paddle and not the short tooth that can be located right underneath the trigger guard. This doesn't make one-handed magazine drops impossible, it just makes them exceptionally tricky. Otherwise, it's perfectly acceptable and works fine and can freely drop magazines. Let's get to the real meat though, and that's the grip. It's super comfortable and unique. Unlike virtually every other flywheel blaster out there, and similar to the Dart Zone Venom Pro, it features a kind of 1911 grip safety rev trigger on the back of it. That means to fire the blaster, you have to press this lever inwards for the flywheels to start spinning, and then you have the mechanical semi-auto spring-loaded trigger. Press that in, pull trigger. The trigger is light and snappy and capable of some pretty decent rates of fire. This whole setup seems weird at first, but I found it extremely intuitive. It feels better than the Venom Pro, way more controllable, and I'm a big fan. But it's not gonna be for everyone. At the bottom, a grip to the safety, which is super weird. It blocks everything from working. It's an odd place, but it's out of the way, and it works fine. Strangely enough, before I've even fired a single dart out of this blaster, it looks like it's already had dozens of darts dumped through it. Not only is there foam dust all over the flywheels and the inner barrel, but there's even some dust around the muzzle of the blaster. So good to know it's been tested thoroughly from the factory, and I'm curious to know if you have similar results with yours if you pick one up. Let me know what your Maxim Pro is like down in the comment section, and tag that subscribe and like button on the way down if you can. Performance is where things go as expected. Out of the box, with the included short darts, we hit typically around mid 140 to a low of 150 feet per second, which is absolutely amazing for AA batteries, but is otherwise not really all that noteworthy. A wild claim for 2024, but there are some other options out there on store shelves that are comparable, like the NERF Pro Sender. Unlike the Sender, however, the accuracy of the Maxim Pro is pretty decent, especially for shoving a humble foam dart through two diametrically spinning plastic wheels. Even at some pretty substantial ranges, you should feel confident trying to hit your tags with this thing. But the performance of the Maxim on AA's isn't the only option, because out of the box you can also slap in a 2S or 3S LiPo. A 2S LiPo is technically undervolting the system and is much quieter when fully revved up, hitting around 135 feet per second, which isn't bad for the improved responsiveness of using the LiPo. Bumping up to a 3S LiPo, however, brings even faster responsiveness, and I was hitting above 150 feet per second regularly. But it isn't that much of an improvement, and you get a lot more noise. Overall, it's cool that you can use LiPos, but they aren't a requirement. Compared to the Sender, with the exception of the velocity, the Maxim outperforms it in pretty much every single way. Better ergonomics, better triggers, better accuracy, more options, lower price, more features. Really no reason to pick up a NERF Pro Sender over a Maxim if you have the choice. Comparing it to the Dart Zone Max Venom Pro, the Venom Pro costs $10 more at $50 USD, but gives you a rechargeable battery, full auto, 2 magazines instead of 1, and a much more compact package for slightly less velocity, comparison at around 130 feet feet per second, which is obviously under about the 150, 140 FPS that the Maxim delivers. But when your only real competition is yourself at a different store, it's safe to say that the Maxim is absolutely crushing it. Speaking of full auto, according to Dart Zone, the Maxim is compatible with a worker full auto kit. I don't think I have one on hand, and I'm sure you need a little bit of soldering experience to install one, but it's supposed to be designed to take one without any substantial modification. I assume this is why the pusher has random gear teeth on top of it that don't interact with anything out of the box. Is it like this one on Amazon? I assume so. But their wording is vague, and I definitely wouldn't recommend doing this, but if you have one laying around, it isn't a terrible idea. Otherwise, just pick up a Venom Pro. And that might be a lot of this video. The Maxim Pro doesn't try to do anything more than what it is. An affordable, entry-level flywheel blaster that gives you everything you could probably want, but still leaves you wanting for just a little bit more. Let's be fair, the performance isn't mind-blowing or world-ending. It's just really good. Reasonable velocity, usable accuracy, great ergonomics and handling. Are there better blasters out there? Of course. For a similar price? Not really. The Maxim is for the people who don't like the sidearm design of the Venom Pro and want a much larger blaster with more standard magazine compatibility and customization. And compared to the Nerf options, it's really hard to recommend the Sender over the Maxim, let alone the NERF Pro Strife X. The Pro Sender, even if it worked flawlessly out of the box like it's supposed to, just costs more and gives you less. You pretty much have to be a die-hard fan of the Sender's design to pick it up over anything, and the Maxim is just a better buy in my opinion. But that doesn't mean the Maxim is the budget end-all flywheeler you may have hoped for, and that's fine. It's a perfectly adequate blaster that will have tons of fans. It has mod potential, of course, but you really wonder if it's even worth it at this point. This feels like the perfect standard package, including everything you need and giving you everything you expect. Your only real consideration is what you need your flywheel blaster to do, and honestly, the extra stuff included with the Venom Pro makes it a better choice if you can swing it. And there's a lot to be said if the Maxim's only competition is another Dart Zone blaster. Do you want a flywheeler you can put a nice optic, stock, and foregrip on? Get the Maxim! Do you want a good sidearm that's about a third the size and hits about as hard with full auto? Hold out for the Venom Pro. Really, the only con against the Maxim is the clear plastic used for the body. This plastic is going to be less durable than the standard ABS plastic we're used to, and there is some concern that the screw post for things like the pusher return spring and the actual pusher itself could just break itself off with enough wear or a very substantial jam. Time will tell if this becomes a real problem, but it's already been reported at least once. Do I like the Maxim Pro? No. I love the Maxim Pro. I would still say the Venom Pro is better than this thing ever will be, but that seems like a really hard comparison because this is also still really good, and the fact that we have options for magazine-fed high-performance flywheel blasters on store shelves right now, yeah, we need more. We have so many pump-action magazine-fed springers, and everything about the Maxim Pro just feels good. If you're looking for a reason to finally bury the Nerf Strife, well, the Maxim just put the final nail in the Nerf Strife's coffin.